Alexander Isak to Liverpool transfer latest amid second offer update. And £15 million discount claim. Liverpool want Newcastle United striker Alexander Isak this summer transfer window and remain ready should they receive encouragement from their Premier League rivals. Alexander Isak continues to stand at the top of Liverpool's strikers shortlist, with the transfer window quickly nearing its closure, now less than a fortnight away. The Merseyside club are determined to act swiftly should they receive any sign of willingness from Newcastle United to begin formal negotiations. Earlier in August, Liverpool reportedly tabled a £110 million proposal for the Swedish international, only to see Newcastle immediately turn it down. Despite the rejection, sources close to Anfield suggest the Reds remain open to further dialogue and are prepared to return with an improved package that could exceed the current British record transfer fee. The £116 million Bayer Leverkusen paid for Florian Wirtz. Newcastle, for their part, have shown little interest in entertaining bids for their talisman. Instead, the Magpies' focus appears to be firmly on reinforcing their front line, with plans to recruit not just one but two new strikers before the window shuts. This has left Liverpool in something of a waiting game, with speculation swirling on both sides. During beIN Sports' broadcast of Liverpool's 4-2 win over Bournemouth, pundit Richard Keys shed light on the situation. "I heard today that Liverpool have made a bid of £110 million, structured as £80 million now and another £60 million next season. Take your pick," Keys commented on air. He further added, "I've also heard whispers that Real Madrid could be in the frame." While he refrained from repeating the bolder claims made earlier in the coverage, his comments fueled intrigue over whether Liverpool may face unexpected competition from Spain. Football finance expert Borson provided further insight in a conversation with Football Insider. "If we had looked at this at the beginning of the summer, you'd have said Liverpool would need to put down around £150 million to land Isak. But if he does leave now, they've managed to bring that figure down by maybe £10 to 15 meters, Borson explained, suggesting Liverpool's persistence is gradually forcing Newcastle to soften their stance. Magpies boss Eddie Howe, however, has strongly denied suggestions that Isak has already informed him of a desire to leave. Reports in the national press had claimed that the striker made his feelings known internally before the season wrapped up in May. Howe quashed these rumors, telling Chronicle Live, "Trust me, when that final whistle blew on the last day, the idea of Isak leaving was the furthest thing from my mind. I wasn't thinking about any individual player in that moment, so I can't give an answer on speculation about him moving this summer." Liverpool's busy summer continues, Doak deal and buyback clause while the Isak saga drags on. Liverpool have been active in the market in other ways, both incoming and outgoing. The Reds have not just strengthened with signings but have also allowed several players to depart, particularly academy graduates, to balance their books. Callum Kelleher, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Uriel Kwanzaa, and Tyler Morton have all left Anfield on permanent deals. Because these players were developed in-house, the revenue from their sales counts as pure profit on the club's accounts, giving Liverpool significant financial muscle to reinvest. Another homegrown talent, 19-year-old winger Ben Doak, is now on the verge of completing a £25 million transfer to Bournemouth, with Mohamed Salah blocking his path to regular first-team football. Doak has opted to continue his development elsewhere in the Premier League. Transfer expert Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Doak has successfully completed his medical with the Cherries. Ben Doak has completed his medical at Bournemouth after a deal was agreed on Friday for £25 million. Romano wrote on Monday, "Liverpool will insert a buyback clause to retain future control of the player." Reporter Ben Jacobs added further details, claiming Liverpool's buyback option is set around £50 million. He also revealed the club genuinely believed Doak could evolve into an elite footballer. The inclusion of this clause is therefore viewed as a safety net should Doak fulfill his potential. With consistent Premier League minutes, Liverpool will have the opportunity to bring him back to Anfield without being priced out. Bournemouth, for their part, beat competition from Porto for the teenager's signature. Everton also expressed serious interest but never formalized an offer. Jacobs noted that Liverpool had no objection in principle to selling Doak to Everton, but the Merseyside rivals ultimately failed to act. How the Doak sale links back to Isak. Interestingly, Doak's departure could indirectly support Liverpool's pursuit of Alexander Isak. Bournemouth, having secured Doak, effectively filled the gap left by Dango Ouattara, who just sealed a record-breaking £42 million switch to Brentford. Brentford only sanctioned Ouattara's move because they were preparing for Yoane Wissa's possible transfer to Newcastle. Reports now suggest Wissa is closing in on a move to St James Park, with personal terms expected to be a formality. Brentford, however, are driving a hard bargain over the transfer fee, and negotiations remain ongoing. Should Newcastle finalize Wissa's arrival and potentially land another striker such as Goncalo Ramos, Samu Agawa, or Nicholas Jackson, the door could finally open for Isak's exit, only once replacements are secured. Will the Magpies realistically entertain Liverpool's record-breaking bid? In short, Liverpool's clever maneuvering in the market, including the sale of Ben Doak with a profitable buyback clause, may have a domino effect that eventually paves the way for Alexander Isak's long-anticipated switch to Anfield. Predicting the Premier League 2 years in advance, that's never simple. Football changes quickly, managers switch jobs, players get sidelined with injuries, and new talents rise from nowhere. Still, trying to guess how Liverpool might shape up for the 2025-26 campaign is the kind of speculation fans love. It may feel early, but with proper research and a clear-eyed approach, supporters can map out what the future could look like. After all, part of the fun of being a football fan comes from second-guessing managers, criticizing players, and making your own bold predictions. And of course, everything can hinge on how much investment pours in from international backers. Assessing the current situation, the logical place to begin is with Liverpool's present. Looking at the 2024-25 season, what strengths stand out and where do the weaknesses lie? Key players and their contract situations are vital to consider heading into 2025-26. Who looks set to stay? Who might be on the move? Examining the squad's composition and performance this season offers a foundation for any long-term expectations. Even details like suspensions at critical points can completely alter the trajectory of a campaign. And you can't just focus on the goal scorers. A serious prediction digs deeper. How effective is the midfield? How solid is the defense? Football is ultimately about balance, and a long-term forecast based on one star player is a risky bet. Emotions often cloud opinions, but statistics provide the clearer picture. Check the numbers, track who's improving, and review the records from 2020-25 to prepare better for predictions into 2025. Choosing the right betting platforms. If you're considering putting money down, the platform matters. Stick with licensed, trustworthy bookmakers that offer future markets on the Premier League. Compare their odds, promotions, and especially the usability of their sites. A clunky interface can be discouraging, and sometimes it's better to switch to a competitor that offers a smoother experience. Also, think about how you'll manage transactions. Many betting sites now accept PayPal, which makes funding and withdrawing money both secure and convenient. It's an added safety net for long-term wagers. But as always, due diligence comes first. Research before you commit. Transfers and management decisions. Transfers remain the lifeblood of football gossip. Liverpool's ins and outs before 2025-26 will heavily shape their chances. The loss of a star striker could spell trouble, while the arrival of a top-class defender might strengthen their campaign. Yet transfer rumors are often misleading, so take them with caution. Management is just as important. Will the current manager still be in charge by then? A change in leadership can steer the team in a completely new direction, for better or worse. Keep an eye on managers excelling abroad who might be on Liverpool's radar. Few coaches last.